All right, it's back on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem at all.
I'm gonna stay over here
Okay, sure.
until, I'm just gonna stay here.
Okay. At any rate, I worked with like a broke dick mad mule. I mean, he just really, because I was the boss's son. And in between, I started taking coursework at Long Island University because I always felt I needed more work in my math. So I took the 2 courses of calculus and 2 courses of integral. And in all 4, it was a guest lecture from MIT. And in all 4 cases, I broke the curve. And on the last one, I came within 1 point of getting a perfect paper. He says, in 25 years of teaching at MIT and there, that's the closest he's ever seen to a perfect paper. Something happened. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I was really developing an aptitude where I could read and retain 90% of what I was reading, and my math was just going off the chart, you know, off the scale. Really getting into really theoretical math, and I had a chance to take 2 more math courses or go to Paris. And at this point, in September of 1970, I took a job teaching 7th and 8th grade math, which I really enjoyed doing. Then,
Where was that?
in a small school on Long Island. And in January of '71, Andy Steele, that same guy I was telling you about, wrote me a letter saying the Air Force was interested in getting guys back who had cancer if they could pass a physical. So I started inquiring with them. Make a very long story short, I spoke to one of the major doctors in the flight surgeon's office down in San Antonio, and he told me about the program. I forwarded all my medical records to him. You know how a bureaucracy doesn't run quickly. So I continued teaching my classes and taking my math, and the school ended at the very end of May of 1971. And I had a choice to either take 2 more courses of theoretical math or go to Paris. I went to Paris. I figured if the Air Force would accept me and come back to the service, I want to live a little before I go into. So I left word with my mom that I would be in Paris. I took a course in French at the Sorbonne, and I had the absolute best summer any man could ever have in this lifetime. I mean, it was unbelievably good.
Was that your first time going abroad?
Oh yeah, yeah. And I love that city. I love the city of 1971, like I love New York of 1950. New York that ain't the same city. Paris ain't the same city now. Had a great time.
What was it about Paris that?
Everything. It's physically one of the most beautiful cities you'll ever see in your life. The food is just unbelievable. I came back weighing 147 pounds. I was absolutely physically fit. I mean, it was just, the food is so good, and it's so well prepared, you don't gain weight. I mean, it's amazing when you have natural food prepared naturally. It's in fact, my best friend's wife was pregnant with her 2nd child, and I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I got a notification from Mom through the American Express office that I would check every week. And Mom said the Air Force was interested, you know, you got to get home by such and such date. That was the message. So I had to get home, so I made arrangements. I got home. And I went to my best friend's house, and his wife was pregnant with her 2nd child, and I kid her because I weighed 147, she weighed 149. So I never let her forget that. In fact, it was funny because he's a lawyer, and he was busy working, and I came there about 9 o'clock in the morning, and her oldest was 3 years old, and he's running around, and I saw bags under her eyes, like the likes of which I had never seen on another human being. As a tiredest human being I had ever seen in my life. You know, she, 8 3/4 months pregnant, trying to keep up with a 9-year-old, I mean a 3-year-old. I said, Pauline, go back to bed. And she was, making the bed when she and Mike were sleeping. She just collapsed in that bed, and I swear to you, she was snoring before her head hit the pillow. So I covered her up, and I took this 3-year-old, and I spent a day with him. I was so tired when I returned him that I took a nap. I couldn't imagine what it was like for her. Mary, to get back, and I take my physical at McGuire, and I passed it with flying colors. And then the Air Force said, well, what do you want to fly? I said, I want to fly C-130 gunships. I was trained as a gunship navigator, and I want to be a gunship navigator. You can't do that because you have to take thyroid medicine for the rest of your life. And I said, look, your choice is simple. You want me back, you put me in that. If you put me in a 141, I ain't coming back. I'm not going to take a soft spot from somebody else who then expose them to combat. The whole purpose of this thing was to do the job I was trained to do. So the Air Force thought about it, said, okay, and they gave me some orders. In fact, I have some copies of them here. I think I have a copy of it here. And you'll never see orders here. It was right here. Special orders, Department of the Air Force, and it's signed, you'll never see this, by direction of the President, John D. Ryan, General, United States Air Force Chief of Staff. And this is for a first lieutenant being promoted to captain and being assigned to gunships. The waiver went all the way up to the President in order to allow me to fly. Because I would be on pills the rest of my life. I'm still taking it. So my father drove me to St. Albans Naval Air, a little medical outlet there, and a Navy officer signed me, gave me the oath of office. And the next day I left for Denver Air Force Base, Lowry Air Force Base for training in the 130 gunships. And my order said I was going to be a sensor operator. In this case, infrared. I said, okay, well that's fine. I said, but I really want fire control. And they said, but you're a slip lane captain. You have no flying experience, and to speak of, and you just made captain. And normally, the fire control officer on a C-130 gunship directs the entire crew. He runs the crew in the offensive mode. The aircraft command is like the coach, and on the football team, and the FOCO, the fire control officer, is your quarterback. And believe me, in our system, it's all audibles. There's no preset plans. The coach doesn't send in a play; it's all audibles. So it's a lot of responsibility to get a slip winger. So they poo-pooed it, and they went back and forth. Well, we'll let you take the test for both. So I aced both tests. Get down to Eglin Air Force Base. This is where the actual flight training takes place.
Florida.
At Florida, Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. In fact, it's Holbert number 9. I used to call it Blood Potion number 9. If you guys would like your old music. And same thing happened there. So you're too junior, give me a raft. I said, well, why don't you see what I can do? And if you still want to make me a sensor operator, I'll be a sensor operator, but at least give me a shot at it. Well, I just knocked their socks off. And I didn't know at the time, but every day our training reports were being forwarded from Eglin Air Force, being flown from Eglin Air Force Base to Ubon Ratchathani, Thailand, because that's where they're flying combat, and they want to know. It's like you want to, as a manager, you want to know who's in the bullpen. Same thing. What kind of talent you got coming in, replace the talent that has spent their year and is leaving. And my training reports were off the charts. I mean, I was fireable on everything as a fire control officer. Actually, it's both. And there was a guy named Major Conrad Story. He was the flight examiner pilot at Ubon. And he's looking at his training reports. Now, this guy has a lieutenant colonel navigator. Gazillion hours. The guy can't FOCO. He could not make up his mind fast enough or see the situation. fire